Finding the product of prime factors with adamonlinetutoring. Here are the beginner questions, some of the easiest questions that you're likely to find on this topic. We need to write 30 as a product of prime factors. We'll come back to what the word product means, but at the start we're just going to focus on finding the prime factors of 30. We can do this using what's called a factor tree, where we start by writing down the number at the top, and we split this number into a pair of factors that multiply to give us 30. So for this example, we could use 3 and 10, as 3 times 10 is 30. But as long as we have an even number, I always like to start by using 2, as pupils find it quite easy to half numbers. So 2 times 15 gives us 30, and we continue with this process until we find the factors that are prime. After this step, we can see that 2 is a prime number, so that can be circled, meaning we're at the end of the branch and we do not need to continue with that number further. If we look at 15, 15 is not a prime number, and this can be split into factors other than 1 and itself. So 3 multiplied by 5 gives me 15. Now I can see that I found 3 and 5 are both prime numbers, meaning they can be circled. I'm now at the end of all of my branches and I've finished finding the prime factors. Now when you're asked to find the product of something, that's another word used to describe the operation of multiplying. So they want you to write your prime factors as a product or as a multiplication. So in this case it would be 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 5. And this is how you leave your answer. You won't then multiply this out because that would just give you the number that you started with, which was 30. On to the next question. We need to write 24 as a product of prime factors. Start by writing down 24. I'm going to split this into 2 multiplied by 12 gives me 24. We can continue with 12 to give me 2 multiplied by 6, and we can continue with 6 to give me 2 multiplied by 3. Writing this as a product would be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3. Now in this example we can see that the same number has been multiplied by itself and itself again. There is a more concise or simplified way of writing this down. 2 times 2 times 2 is the same as 2 cubed, which we can then finish off by multiplying by 3. Questions will sometimes ask you to simplify your answers, but sometimes they don't ask you to do this. In my experience, it's safer to just always simplify your answer, because that way you'll never lose out on any marks if you forget to do so when you've been asked. On to the intermediate questions, with a slight increase in difficulty, starting off by writing 36 as a product of its prime factors, and I'll start with 2 and 18. Carrying on from 18, I'll have 2 and 9, and then finishing off the 9 with 3 and 3. Writing as an unsimplified product would be 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 3. 2 times 2 is the same as 2 squared, and 3 times 3 is the same as 3 squared. For the next question, we're starting with 64, which can be split into 2 times 32. 32 can be split into 2 and 16. 16 can be split into 2 and 8. 8 can be split into 2 and 4. And 4 can be split into 2 and 2. So you can see with this example that some numbers can end up giving you quite a lot of steps to complete. As an unsimplified product, this would be 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and simplifying this would give me 2 to the power of 6. On to the advanced question, one of the more difficult topics that you're likely to find on this topic. Square numbers have all their prime factors raised to even powers. For example, we've previously worked out that 36 is the same as 2 squared times 3 squared. Notice how the 2 was raised to an even number, and the 3 was also raised to an even number. We also worked out that 64, which is a square number, is the same as 2 to the power of 6. Again, notice how the 2 is raised to an even number. For this question, we first need to write 75 as a product of its prime factors. I've completed this and got 3 times 5 times 5. Simplified, this is the same as 3 times 5 squared. Now because we said that square numbers have to have all of their prime factors raised to even numbers, to work out the smallest number we could multiply 75 by to go to a square number, we would need to ensure that this prime factor that was currently raised to a power of 1 would need to be changed to the lowest even number, which would be 2. And to do that, that would involve multiplying the 3 by itself, or multiplying by 3 again. Here's a question that I've completed with some mistakes. Pause the video and let's see if you can spot them and either tell me what they are or write some corrections in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you found that video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. If you're struggling with topics or finding maths difficult, subscribe and turn on notifications to receive regular updates about new video tutorials and other useful content. You can visit and follow all of my socials by clicking the links in the description below.